It's just not the same thing.
Again, you're looking at a live picture of the World Trade Center, where shortly before 9 o'clock this morning, and then shortly after 9 o'clock, planes apparently deliberately crashed into the buildings. Alani DeVito, are you there? Alani DeVito, are you there? I understand we have another eyewitness to this catastrophe. Lonnie DeVito, are you there? Apparently we lost Lonnie, but again...
This may be confusing to some people, because in a sense it is a little confusing to me. We every now and then see what looks like, I don't know if it's the bottom of a chopper that is swinging back and forth.
That would be our...
That is ours.
That would be the rudders from our chopper every once in a while.
Hey, Jim.
Lonnie DeVito, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Lonnie. Thank you.
Hi.
This is Jim Ryan in the studio. Can you tell us what you heard and saw when the blast took place?
Right now, I was actually talking to my brother on the phone about what happened. I was on my roof and I saw something from where I am. I really can't see what it is. I saw something go into the other building, because from where I am, I could see the World Trade Center.
Since 1993, once again, we're going to go back to the World Trade Center bombing, a car bomb at the World Trade Center, killing 6 people. The NYPD, the terrorism squad, New York City police have definitely heightened their sense of security at landmark buildings throughout the city, from the World Trade Center to the Empire State Building to the UN. All of this is definitely...
Okay, we've got Melinda now, who's live for us. She's been taking these pictures. Melinda, tell us what you're looking at. Melinda, can you hear us? All right, we're going to go to Melinda in just a few minutes.
Good morning. You're looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center Tower 1 from Manhattan Lower District. As you can see, we have a very serious fire in the World Trade Center. What we understand, the information is still early in coming, but what we understand is that 2 separate planes have hit Tower 1, which is the tower that you're seeing on your picture right now. As you can see, there are flames. There is a massive fire here at this Tower 1 of the World Trade Center. It's in the upper portion of the building, probably the upper quarter of the tower. Now, of course, the problem with fighting something like this is that it is you can't do an external attack. Firefighters are going to have to go on the inside of this building to actually fight this particular fire. They're going to have to be using things like high-rise packs and standpipe packs. They're going to be setting up a command center here, and they'll be using a cascade system to refill their air bottles. Now, the air bottles only carry 30 to 45 minutes of air, so you can imagine what it's going to be like to try to attack this fire, because they're going to have to climb up this many stories to get to the actual fire, and then probably immediately have to turn around and get their air packs repacked. Now, what we understand is, again, 2 separate planes have hit this. We don't understand why at this point, but we do know that 2 planes, we're not sure what size planes they were, but we think they were substantial in size, have hit the World Trade Center. This, again, is Tower 1. We do not know exactly what happened as far as to why they have hit this, but you can see that there is a big plume of smoke which is towering into the air. I would say it goes back a couple of miles at this point, even further. You can certainly see it from almost anywhere in this area. Both towers have smoke coming out of them, so it is possible at this point that Tower 2 is also on fire. It's hard for us to tell at this vantage point. As you can well imagine, police are keeping us at a distance from this so that they can do the work they need to do. What we recommend to you people who are watching this from Lower Manhattan is to please turn off your water. Do not use any water that you do not need. Do not use your dishwasher. Do not use your washing machine. Firefighters need all the water pressure they can gather at this point. It's also a very good idea to stay out of Lower Manhattan. Firefighters and other emergency equipment are trying to make their way there right now. And as you can imagine, this has probably already been made an all-hands emergency. That basically means that everybody, even if people are off of work right now, they have been called in to battle this blaze. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, you are looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center. That is Tower 1 on your screen right now. 2 separate planes have hit the World Trade Center. We are not certain why that has happened, but it has happened. You can see the flames through the smoke there, and there is a very dark, nauseous fume coming out of that. We can almost smell it from where we are, which is several miles away at this point. You can also see the plume of smoke from many, many miles away. Now, again, as we said, it's going to be very hard and very difficult to battle this blaze because it is in the upper portion of this tower. Tower 2 also has smoke coming out of it, and we, again, are not sure exactly what that is about. We'll, again, try to keep you up to date with this as we get more information, but what we do know is that 2 separate planes have hit the World Trade Centers. We do have firefighters on the scene. They are going to have to do an internal battle of this blaze. They cannot do anything from the external because it's so
with
high.
Michael Gargiulo here in our Fox 5 studio. We are monitoring the situation in New York City. We want to bring you up to date in case you are just joining us. Apparent act of terrorism in New York City. 2 different planes have hit those twin towers there of the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center, of course, the target of a bombing in 1993.
Now, the 2 towers are referred to as Tower 1 and 2. Tower 1 is the tower closest to us. This was hit first. It was hit higher up. We believe on the 90th floor. There's 110 floors. Amazingly, then, there is video that we're going to show you shortly of the second impact on Tower 2, the tower further back. That one coming lower. We're going to see that now in just a second. And here you're going to be able to see the size of the plane. Let's take a look at it, and you see it slowed there. And that's the second impact lower, we believe, perhaps in the 50th, 60th floors, a large plane. And also another development, perhaps related to where these planes came from.
That is correct. There is now a report that the FBI is investigating a plane hijacking, reports of a possible plane hijacking before these World Trade Center crashes.
Needless to say, all of New York City's 30,000 police officers, the entire fire department, virtually every emergency service person on duty in the New York City area is on their way or there now.
We also should note that this is also primary election day in New York City, where they are choosing the candidates in the mayoral election. We'll see if they suspend the voting because of this incident. Of course, again, that'd be highly unusual, and we are still awaiting word on injuries, fatalities from this incredible, horrific scene there in New York City.
The irony was that after the World Trade Center bombing, which took place back in 1993, so much effort was made to secure the garage area because that's where the
other incident took place.
The other incident took place, and if you drove by that area there, which is right by the tunnel area, the Battery, as it's known in New York City, down near Wall Street, there were all these barriers, all these things set up to prevent unauthorized people from getting in. You remember they rented a Ryder truck and drove it into that garage. Now, of course, an unimaginable turn of events hitting the same very prominent target from the top. We should also point out, with regard to casualties, Lark, in February 26, 1993, that bombing that shocked all of us, 6 people were killed, more than 1,000 people were injured. We cannot hazard a guess what's going on right now.
We're going to go back to the live coverage from WNYW in New York. Let's listen in.
Type of other attack. We're not exactly sure what happened yet. We do know 2 separate planes. We feel that they are fairly substantial in size from initial reports. We do not know exactly what they were. But again, both towers are on fire. Tower 1 obviously suffering the biggest fire from what we can see at our vantage point. We are not able to move to a different point simply because the police have asked us to stay back so they can do the work that they need to do in this general area. They are setting up a general command center, or at least you would be expected for them to be able to do that, to be able to set up a general command center. Now then, high-rise packs are being used here. We have a cascade system, which is used to refill the air bottles. Air bottles carry to 30 to 45 minutes worth of air, as we just mentioned, and that's how they're going to have to use this because these fumes are very noxious. If you're somebody, again, watching from the World Trade Center, it's a good idea if you're in the middle of this fire to be sure and fill your door before you actually open it. If it is hot, it is better to leave the door closed than it is to open it and let the flame in. Also, it's better to hit the floor and not stand up. Smoke rises, and the smoke, of course, will go to the ceiling if you are watching this from the World Trade Center. Again, use the stairwell. Do not use the elevators. That is the worst thing that you can do. For those of you who are not in the World Trade Center and watching this down in Lower Manhattan, please turn off your water. Do not use any water you do not need. They will need all the water pressure they can possibly garner at this point. This is a tough place to battle. Obviously, if a jetliner hits or any type of plane hits an World Trade Center like this, there's going to be a lot of fuel on board possibly. That fuel is very difficult to put out, and of course all the other stuff inside the building itself, which is going to give quite a bit of fuel to this fire. Firefighters will probably issue an all-hands call. That means everybody who is available, including those who are off for the day, will be called in to battle this blaze. That is the highest of all alarms, higher than a general alarm, and that means firefighters from all over the area will be called to battle the blaze. Again, it will be an internal attack. They cannot do anything externally because of the height of this. It's the top portion of the World Trade Center, the very top portion of the World Trade Center. We have maybe, I would say it's probably the top fifth of the World Trade Center, Tower 1, and maybe the top half of World Trade Center 2. Again, we're not sure if both or one of the towers was hit by a plane, but we do know 2 separate planes hit the towers, and that has resulted in this battle of the blaze that we are watching right now. We do see flames in Tower 1. You can see it at the base of the smoke on the left, and we do know that there's some very serious fire which they're having to battle here today.
Okay, that was Melinda Murphy. You've been listening to Melinda Murphy live from Chopper 11. Over what you can see is a raging fire. 2 planes. Now, we just got this in. A senior government official, speaking on condition of anonymity, said that the FBI is now pursuing reports that one or both of the planes that crashed into the 2 towers of the World Trade Center.
And then see what looks like, I don't know if it's the bottom of a chopper that is swinging back and forth.
That would be our.
That is ours.
That would be the rotors from our chopper every once in a while.
Hey, Jim.
That's right. Lonnie, to this catastrophe. Lonnie DeVito, are you there? Apparently we lost Lonnie, but again...
This may be confusing to some people because in a sense it is a little confusing to me. Every now and then, it's just not the same thing.
Again, you're looking at a live picture of the World Trade Center where shortly before 9 o'clock this morning and then shortly after 9 o'clock, planes apparently deliberately crashed into the buildings. Lonnie DeVito, are you there? Lonnie DeVito, are you there? I understand we have another eyewitness. Vito, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Lonnie. Thank you. This is Jim Ryan in the studio. Can you tell us what you heard and saw when the blast took place?
Right now, I was actually talking to my brother on the phone about what happened. I was on my roof and I saw